It's a beautiful night for baseball, and live from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Kansas City Royals in the first of a three-game series. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner along with Oral Hershiser and Nomar Garciaparra. This is the first time the Dodgers have come to Kansas City since 2005. 9 years ago, starting against the Dodgers, was a young fella named Zach Greinke against Derek Lowe, it happened to be. But on this night, of course, Greinke, the prodigal son, is returning home.
Yes, he's returning home, and he has been outstanding for the Los Angeles Dodgers. When the ball leaves your hand, it could have velocity, movement, and location, and he's been elite at all three of those. The way he has gone about his business, he has struck out 97 batters so far this year with only 20 walks. If he can get to 100 without a walk, only Sandy Koufax has done that faster since 1914. So Zach Greinke on top of his game with wins with 9, on top of the game with the elite as far as ERA with a 2.85, and he has been outstanding.
Greinke in search of his 10th win of the year. Matt Kemp, on the other hand, has been red hot. He is riding a 10-game hitting streak.
Ever since he's embraced the left field position, he truly has flourished. And as you mentioned, when he's playing consistently, so come his bat. And over that 10-game hitting streak, he has been batting over 400 with a pair of home runs and 10 RBIs. So when he's in that lineup, he is helping them offensively. But let's flip over to the defensive side. We talked about him in left field, waiting for him to get comfortable. I don't think that's an issue anymore. He's a left fielder, and he's playing it well.
The Dodgers have won 7 of their last 9 and 10 of their last 14 as they begin this three-game series here in Kansas City. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the lineups at first pitch as Zach Greinke goes for his 10th win of the year against Jeremy Guthrie.
Welcome back to Dodger Baseball. There you see a statue of George Brett. There has never been anybody to put on a Royals uniform more popular than George Brett. Welcome inside Kauffman Stadium, everybody, as fans get ready to take in Game 1 of this interleague matchup between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Kansas City Royals. And honestly, there has not been much of a history between these two clubs, surprisingly. In fact, they've only played each other 6 different times. It's one of the fewest games played as far as the series are concerned all time between these two teams. You see it there. Baltimore Orioles and the Cubs have only played 6 times, as well as the Rays and the Cubs. The Rays also against the Brewers just 6 times. The Chicago White Sox and the New York Mets have played one another only 7 times. The Dodgers have played every team in Major League Baseball at least once since the last time they played the Royals back in 2005. As far as Game 1 is concerned, it's Zach Greinke returning to face the team he used to pitch for. Zach Greinke looking for his 10th win already in 2014. After the break, Charlie Steiner, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and Oral Hershiser on the call. We'll be right back.
And chance of rain. The worst of the weather has come and gone through Kansas City as the Dodgers and Royals get ready to play each other for the first time since 2005 here at Kauffman Stadium. Really one of the beautiful ballparks in Major League Baseball. It has aged gracefully. It opened in 1973. It has hosted a couple of all-star games way back in the beginning in 73 when it was first built. It was on artificial turf. It went to real grass in 1995, and with each passing year, they have done something more beautiful to the ballpark than the previous year. And finally, they say all of the renovations have been completed, and it is just a spectacular park as the Royals take the field. Kansas City has lost 4 straight after winning 10 in a row, and they begin the night 2.5 behind the Tigers in the American League Central Division. The Dodgers, winners of 7 of 9 and 10 of their last 14, trail the Giants by 4 games in the West. The Giants begin a 10-game homestand tonight. They are playing the Padres, and here's the lineup that Don Mattingly's put together. Right in the middle of the lineup, Matt Kemp riding a 10-game hitting streak. It'll be Gordon and Ramirez and Puig. Hanley is the designated hitter tonight. Gonzalez at first base, and Kemp. Ethier in center field. A.J. Ellis is the catcher. A strong defense on the left side of the infield. Miguel Rojas made that great play the other night in preserving Clayton Kershaw's no-hitter. In fact, Kershaw, the National League Player of the Week, and Carlos Triunfel will start at shortstop, and they will be facing 35-year-old Jeremy Guthrie. His 16th start of the year.
Well, Jeremy Guthrie, coming off his last 2 starts where he struck out 9 batters in each of those last starts. Prior to that, his highest was only 5. But he comes at you with all pitches. He can get his fastball up to 95 miles an hour, both a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. He's got a slider, good changeup, and a curveball to go with it. So he'll be around the plate. He's not afraid to come in on you, and he's not afraid to go climb the ladder up top to try to get that third strike.
6'1", 205 out of Utah originally, and he is tonight's Honda's starting pitcher. So here come the Dodgers, first of a 3-game series, taking 2 of 3 from San Diego. And the Dodgers find themselves in second place in what has rapidly turned into a 2-team race in the Western Division. Dodgers trailed the Giants by 4, then Colorado's 11 back, San Diego 13.5 back, Arizona 15 games off the pace. The Royals, on the other hand, 3 games over 500. During a 10-game winning streak, they hit collectively .327, but in their most recent 4-game losing streak, as a team, they're hitting .231, so they're still trying to figure out their own identity. But in talking to Ned Yost, their manager, he really likes this club as Gordon takes low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. D. Gordon, 78 hits, a couple of home runs, 23 runs batted in. Leads the National League with 8 triples, and of course leads the major leagues with 39 stolen bases. Guthrie delivers a strike, and it's 1-1.
When scouting Guthrie, we didn't see him really live down by the knees. He pitches middle and up. He'll go down, but that's usually with the changeup or the slider.
Guthrie came up with the Indians in 2004. And then it was on to Baltimore, a year in Colorado, and now a year and a half in Kansas City, beginning his 2nd full season. A record of 4-6, a .386 earned run average. And the 1-2 on the way. Guthrie on the year, 59 strikeouts and 25 walks, and now he's got 60. Here's the defense playing behind Guthrie tonight. Mike Moustakas. Alcides Escobar is just a spectacular defensive shortstop. The veteran Omar Infante at second base, Eric Hosmer at first. And you talk to the Kansas City people, they think their outfield defensively, Gordon, Dyson, and Kane, the best in the league. And Salvador Perez is an exceptional catcher. So there's a lot to be excited about in Kansas City as Hanley Ramirez comes up. Hanley with 72 base hits on the year, his 11 home runs and 44 runs batted in. He has 20 doubles, and that ranks him 8th in the National League. Just underway. 76 degrees at game time. Guthrie. The grounder slowly hit to short. Escobar. 2 out.
Well, you just mentioned about Escobar. I mean, that ball looked like a routine ground ball hit to short, but as he was charging it, it took kind of a funny hop on him. Right when it was getting to him, you'll see this hop, and you see how he has to move his glove as he's getting that one right there coming up to him, but he's still able to stay with it, gather himself, and make a good throw over to first base.
So there's 2 out and nobody on. One of the reasons why Kansas City feels so good about itself after so many years of languishing. Strength up the middle. Their young catcher Perez, Escobar, Lorenzo Cain, normally the center fielder, but he's moved to right with the injury to Aoki, and Jared Dyson, a speedster in center, as Puig fouls it off to the right, and it's 0-1.
They had waited for their hitting to come around. Ned Yost was very confident that they were going to hit, and boy, did they during that hot 10-game win streak. But the pitching and the defense has been solid all year.
Their team batting average, .260, is 4th in the league. Into center field, heading on back and corralling it is Jared Dyson. Well, the speedy center fielder made it look easy. Nothing across for the Dodgers. Zach Greinke in his return to Kauffman Stadium to be facing Kane, Hosmer, and Butler in the bottom of the first. Games will be blue, Dodger blue and Royal blue, as Zach Greinke is getting his final warm-up tosses in. And here's the lineup that Ned Yost has put together. Lorenzo Cain will lead off in right field. Eric Hosmer at first base. Billy Butler, the burly DH. Alex Gordon in left field. Perez, the catcher. Infante at second base. Moustakas, a Southern California native, at third. Alcides Escobar at shortstop. He's got 18 stolen bases. And Gerard Dyson will be in center field, batting ninth. And tonight's Honda starting pitcher for the Dodgers is 30-year-old Zach Greinke.
Going for his 10th win to tie Adam Wainwright and Simon of Cincinnati. Zach, if you look at pitchers that have 75 innings or more, he has the best chase rate of any of them, 36.2%. The league average is 28. So not only does he throw strikes, it makes you chase. He gets the batters in swing mode and knows how to work the corners.
And quickly ahead, 0-1 to Lorenzo Cain, who came up with Milwaukee originally. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cain, like many of the Royals hitters, don't hit for power, but they hit for average. Cain at .310. This is not the easiest ballpark in which to hit home runs. Here's the 1-1. Up the middle into center field, a leadoff hit for Lorenzo Cain. Playing defense behind Greinke tonight, and they're going to have to be on their toes with Miguel Rojas and Carlos Trienfel on the left side of the infield. D. Gordon, Adrian Gonzalez on the right side. Kemp, Ethier, and Puig in the outfield. A.J. Ellis is the catcher. In talking with Ned Yost prior to the game today, he was really high on Eric Hosmer. He's hit under 200 over the past month or so, but he thinks at some point in his career he's got MVP potential. Hosmer at .252 overall with 4 home runs and 35 runs batted in. So this is a young team, still looking for that veteran leadership, that veteran presence. And July 31st will be a very interesting date to watch this team. See what, if anything, they may do. 0-2.
David Glass, their owner, has been around a lot during the hot streak, has actually had quotes about the team, how excited he is to watch them play, and kept an open mind about spending money at the trade deadline. But he said that their making moves was not just to make them, but to make moves that really impact the club.
Ted Yost now in his 5th season as the manager. Now the 0-2. Chopped to first. There's only one play for Gonzalez, and that's with Greinke covering.
Lorenzo Cain gets down to second. He had 6 stolen bases, been caught twice. They don't really run with him very much because they like to leave that hole open for Hosmer, who tried to hit it there, but that ball was hit too weakly.
And here comes the hot-hitting Billy Butler. On the year, 278, couple of home runs and 32 runs batted in. Has a hit in 16 of his last 18 games, during which time he's hitting .375. Hitting about .350 the month of June. Alex Gordon on deck, scoreless in the bottom of the first. Here's a strike.
You talked about that hot-hitting Billy Butler. You mentioned what he's doing for the month of June, but he also does extremely well with runners in scoring position, batting .316 in those situations.
And he's got the speedy Cain at second base. Right to D. Gordon. Butler is out easily. Cain goes to third.
Zach broke out his first curveball of the night. That runner in scoring position situation has been attacking with the fastball here early on, establishing it, but used the breaking ball to record that out.
And here comes Alex Gordon. Gordon with 9 home runs and 40 runs batted in. He is also second in the American League with runners in scoring position, hitting .377. Royals are 28-10 when they score first. Dodgers are 33-12 when they score first.
It'll be interesting to watch to see how Zach Greinke attacks Alex Gordon when you have a righty versus lefty here with the base open.
He's got a 6-game hitting streak, Gordon does. High and inside.
I mean, Oro, when you know that you have a team that doesn't hit a whole lot of home runs, you have a lefty up here who has some power, runner in scoring position, you have 2 outs, you have a right-hander up at the plate, I mean, on deck, you really got to be fine with the guy, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be fine with him, and Zach's fine with almost every hitter because he's not afraid to walk people. Use all of his pitches.
High and inside. Alex Gordon has a 6-game hitting streak, 10 for his last 25. And just another incidental note, first 4 batters have all faced strike 1 against Greinke tonight. Salvador Perez on deck. Cain at third with 2 out. Slide into the glove of Adrian Gonzalez, and that will end the inning. No runs and a hit. We go to the second with Gonzalez, Kemp, and Ethier coming up. Gonzalez and pitching coach Rick Honeycutt getting out of a bit of a jam in the bottom half of the first. Needed 12 pitches to retire Kansas City, getting Alex Gordon aligned to Adrian Gonzalez to end the bottom of the first, and as the aforementioned Gonzalez leading off in the top half of the second. Adrian at 249 with 45 RBIs. He ranks 6th in the National League in that category, but it's been a struggle for him of late. Gonzalez and Kemp and Ethier to bat. Guthrie's first pitch of the second. There's a fly ball to center field. Dyson is there, and he'll make the play easily. There's one out.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun this series to watch Dyson play center field if he's out there. He doesn't play there every game, but he just glides out there.
He's made those last 2 fly balls look very easy, right? I mean, the last one with Puig especially, because that one ball carried over there to right center, and he may look like he goes, oh, he had it all the way, got under it like it was nothing.
So Dyson taking over in center. Aoki, the starting right fielder, is hurt. Kane moved from center to right, opening up the spot for Dyson. And this time it's Kane making the play. So quickly 2 out and nobody on. So Andre Ethier's going to take his time, coming from the batter's box to home plate. 2 pitches, 2 outs in the second.
It won't be like a National League game using the DH today where you have to stall for the pitcher, but right now you're kind of stalling for Zach Greinke a little bit because it's a very short inning if you all of a sudden make an out on the first or second pitch.
And to take Guthrie at least a little bit out of the room. 2 pitches, 2 outs in the second. And Ethier predictably takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Ethier is hitless in his last 8 at-bats. 2 out in the second. Oh, beautiful diving stab by Hosmer. Dives to the bag and he's out. Ethier robbed of an extra base hit by Eric Hosmer. Well, Ned Yost says he's a potential MVP type player. It was an MVP type of defensive play to end the top of the second. On Sunday, June 29th, when the Dodgers take on the Cardinals, and the first 15,000 kids 14 and under will receive an Adrian Gonzalez replica jersey, compliments of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotions today. Great young catcher Salvador Perez leading it off, and there's a fly ball to left. Back goes Matt Kemp, and Perez has given the Royals a 1-0 lead with his 9th home run of the year.
Well, the young catcher has watched Zach Greinke face 4 batters and attack with the fastball. Zach doesn't go with a fastball, goes with a little slider, and that's why he's a little out in front, but he still has enough swing to hit an awful long way. He was guessing cheese, didn't get the fastball, but had a good enough swing and enough swing left to hit it a long way.
9 home runs and 27 runs batted in for Salvador Perez. Now the hitter is the veteran Omar Infante. Perez out of Venezuela. He's just 23 in his 4th big league season. Last year 292, and this year he's at 283 as Greinke delivers a strike. And Kansas City strikes first.
Yeah, you mentioned that he was out in front a little bit, but at the same time, that ball didn't break a whole lot. It kind of spun there, and he stayed on that. Oftentimes, as a hitter, if you recognize that spin, you end up swinging underneath that ball because it didn't break as much. But for Perez, he stayed right on it, and he crushed it to left field.
6'3" and 250 pounds. And just 23 years of age, and has a cannon for a throwing arm. The Royals lead at 1-0, and that's something new for Kansas City over the past few days. It's only the 2nd time they've held a lead in the last 4 games. They've got a 4-game losing streak. They've got a 1-0 lead in the 2nd inning.
They're trying, Ned Yost and his ball club, trying to avoid that 5th loss in a row. That would tie a season high for them that they've done one other time.
They came off a 10-game winning streak and promptly lost 4 in a row, and the hitting went south.
Well, Ned Yost, I'm sure, is worried about his team getting demoralized because they rode that 10-game winning streak. They come back home, and they found themselves at home starting a series in first place. Then over the last 4 games, they coming into today, 2.5 back.
Into short left, Kemp is on in. And there's your first out of the 2nd inning.
They're beating teams, beating Detroit up, caught the first place Tigers at the time went by them. They were beating Verlander and beating Scherzer up, and they weren't beating them like 1-run games, like 1-0, 2-1. They were beating them soundly.
But during this 4-game losing streak, collectively they were hitting just .231. During that 10-game winning streak, .327. Well, they're hoping to put their hitting shoes back on. Here's Mike Moustakas. He takes outside and low, 1 ball, no strikes. Moustakas hitting just $178.
There's a generational change going on, and it's right before our very eyes. It's continued, but the defense, what they play now, Charlie, Nomar, immediately, the Dodgers and the Royals have only played 6 games in the history of the franchises against each other, and we've got a shift on against Moustakas right away.
Wouldn't you know it, the shortstop makes the catch in foul territory down the left field line.
Yeah, we're shifting, and we've recorded some outs already, and I remember breaking in my generation, you would hope one of our coaches maybe coached over on the other side. You see the shift there. We've got 3 guys on the right side, and they've never seen this guy. They've never faced him, but it's all data now. We would go scouting report. Well, yeah, he's slightly pulled, and we barely have the infield, shifted.
Alcides Escobar lines up base hit into center field.
Then they went to video scouting. You get a little data on your own. Then they went, now everything is just charted completely.
Well, what I've also seen, speaking of charges, they said, hey, Zach Greinke's going to be around home plate. He's going to be throwing strikes. Don't be afraid to attack that first pitch. It's just there, and that's exactly what Escobar did and takes it up the middle.
Every pitch has been a first pitch strike up to and including the Perez home run that gave the Royals a 1-0 lead. Rod Dyson is the batter. 284. He takes the ball inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. The Royals have certainly faced some top-notch pitching in the past several weeks. Forever Young, as in Cy Young, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Zach Greinke, and tomorrow they've got Kershaw.
Clayton with his Player of the Week honors and coming off the no-hitter.
Quick toss to first base. Escobar's got 18 stolen bases in 19 tries. So with 2 out, a run in here in the second. Pretty good candidate to think about stealing second. Dyson, no home runs, 7 runs batted in. In the dirt, gets past Ellis. And the speedy Escobar gets a free pass to second. Wild pitch.
Second curveball of the game. This one gets a little bit away from him right here. AJS will tell you when he sees the replay or even in live action that he should have had that. He was expecting the backdoor curveball, and Zach kind of pulled it towards the middle of the plate and skidded away from him.
Dyson 10 for his last 32 in his last 9 games. Escobar leading from second. Into left field. Drops in for a hit. And the Royals are going to take a 2-0 lead. A home run, a single, a wild pitch, and a 2-out single for Dyson. 2-0 Kansas City.
Well, a couple of things here was that wild pitch that gets by puts him in scoring position, but Dyson doing a good job. I mean, that was a fastball on the outer half, and he just goes with it. Matt Kemp kind of short hopped in there because he was thinking he might have had a chance at making that catch there and unable to get it cleanly. And you can see how Zach Greinke felt about that pitch, and them up 2-0 right now.
Over the weekend against the Mariners, the Royals were 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position. In the second inning, they're 1 for 3. And Greinke is down 2-0.
We saw him aware of Escobar because he had 18 stolen bases. Well, Dyson over at first base, he has 10 stolen bases. They have some speed at the bottom of their lineup.
Kane a single to center in his first at-bat and takes a strike.
Kane with 2 outs, giving Dyson maybe a shot there. He's kind of faking the bunt. Now that he's got a strike on him, Dyson wants to run. He might have a batter that's swinging.
Hosmer is on deck. Royals with 2 in the second. Right. 0-2.
Zach continues to throw first pitch strikes, and he's going against a very young lineup that does not walk much. They're 13th in the American League in drawing walks. So this team likes to swing the bat. They hit for a pretty high average, not much power. I think he's going to be able to walk them off the plate and use the edges a little bit more than he has so far.
No balls and 2 strikes.
When I say walk them off the plate, I don't mean walk them and give them first base, but expand the strike zone using the edges, and they're going to swing the bat. So where the batter's box was in the white chalk line, you can see that as a pitcher and think those are the corners of your plate. Once you get ahead, you don't have to aim for the plate.
Lorenzo Cain takes a call, 3rd strike, and that ends the inning. First strikeout for Greinke, but the Royals scored 2 on the home run by Perez and the 2-out RBI single for Dyson. Ellis, Rojas, and Trienfeld a hit for the Dodgers in the 3rd. 250-pound catcher who they think is going to be the backstop for this franchise for years to come, and good reason why. His 9th home run of the year gave the Royals an early 1-0 lead. They tacked on a second run in the second on Gerard Dyson's 2-out single. A.J. Ellis to be followed by Miguel Rojas and Carlos Triunfel against Jeremy Guthrie. Delivers high and inside. It's 1-1. Guthrie threw 12 pitches, 9 of them for strikes, through the first 2 innings combined. 8 pitches in the first, 4 in the second. 1-1 to Ellis. Line drive, base hit into right. First base runner of the night for the Dodgers.
It's funny on that base hit to right field, A.J. Ellis. He didn't round first base like it was a base hit. He went straight through the bag as if there might be a play. Watch Ellis on this one. Sees the ball hit hard over to the right field. He's like, I got to turn it on. I don't want him to have a play at me at first base. So, like, all right, hold on. Is he going to throw it? Good. No, I'm safe. Whew.
Well, he kidded during his time with his ankle injury.
Yeah.
The wheels weren't part of his game. What they were waiting on was him just be able to make the turn, but didn't even need to there.
No.
Well, Lorenzo Cain, the right fielder, is just an outstanding defender. He came up with Milwaukee. They knew it was just going to be a matter of time before he could be a breakout player, and it appears this is his time. Rojas, 4, 6, 3. Infante to Escobar to Hosmer, 2 out and nobody up.
Fastball in, not down and in, up and in, running that ball in on his hands, and it really jammed. And that ball looked like it was going to be down the middle and ran right in there and got the routine jam shot double play.
Nothing routine about the throwing arm of Alcides Escobar.
I was just thinking the same thing, Charlie. We showed that in slow motion. It didn't look like slow motion when he threw it over there to first base.
In slow motion, it got there fast.
Exactly.
So this Royals team is very interesting to watch. Their young catcher, Perez, shortstop Escobar. Talk about being strong up the middle. We've got a great young catcher, great young shortstop. Cain will eventually move back to center field. And Dyson, who's out there now, is no slouch either. 0-2 to Triunfel. 2 for 2 with the Dodgers, including a home run. Starting at shortstop tonight, Ramirez the DH. 1-2. D. Gordon is on deck. Dodgers began the night 4 games behind the Giants. San Francisco beginning a 10-game homestand, starting off with the Padres tonight. Tonight will also be a race to 4 runs. The Royals this year, when they score 4 or more, are 32-5. Dodgers are 36-8 when they score 4 or more.
Don Mattingly so far has not seen his lineup really work the count. 22 pitches so far for Guthrie. Triunfel at the plate has seen almost 25% of them, seeing 5 in this at bat.
2-2 with 2 out. Dyson has plenty of room. Makes it look easy, doesn't it? No runs, 1 hit. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. Hosmer, Butler, and Gordon coming up to face Zach Greinke. Boys in Blue host the St. Louis Cardinals at 7:10. Right after the game, fans are invited down to the field to enjoy summer country mix-themed Friday night fireworks. Compliments of Denny's. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Eric Hosmer will lead it off for the Royals as we begin the third. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. He bounced to first base in his first at-bat. Hosmer has 21 doubles on the year. He's in the top 10 in the American League in that category with 4 home runs and 35 runs batted in. That is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Butler on deck and Gordon to follow. Zach Greinke began his career in Kansas City in 2004. Once beat the Dodgers 9 years ago as a member of the Royals. He in Kansas City beat Derek Lowe and the Dodgers. 3-game series in Kansas City, and Aesop Choi hit 2 home runs. It was about the highlight of his career. Hosmer takes a called third strike. Second strikeout for Greinke. It's the first out of the third.
Two-seam fastball coming back. Greg Maddux made that pitch very famous. Zach Greinke continuing to use it very, very well. 94 right on the inside corner.
Greinke now with 99 strikeouts and 20 walks.
A lot of commotion in the Dodger locker room this afternoon. Watching the television, and it wasn't baseball.
Oh, you had the World Cup on and watching the Mexico-Croatia game. How was that not exciting for you, Orel?
Adrian, it was exciting once Mexico started scoring, as Adrian Gonzalez and you and everybody else started cheering.
Screaming.
Adrian came to work today in a Mexico soccer jersey.
Yep, with his name on the back, his number, and when they scored, he was sprinting around the clubhouse, waving the flag.
Butler over the head of D. Gordon. D. Gordon has a 36-inch vertical leap, and not even he could corral that line drive off the bat of Butler.
The thing amazed me about watching the soccer on TV today as we watched the base hit up the middle with D. Gordon leaping for it was that I think Zach Greinke could be a member of a bomb squad, because he and A.J. Ellis and Rick Honeycutt were going over the hitters and studying. And I'll tell you what, his focus was not broken by any goal, any cheering, any commotion at all. They were locked in on what they wanted to do tonight.
Alex Gordon robbed of a base hit in his first at-bat on a line drive and a leaping play made by Adrian Gonzalez. Gordon swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Salvador Perez, who hit a home run in his first at-bat, is on deck. Alex Gordon out of Lincoln, Nebraska. He's now 30 and in his 7th big league season. A career .270 hitter. "20 home runs, 81 runs batted in last year. He is at 9-40, roughly at the halfway point of this season. The Dodgers, this is their 78th game of the year. 0-2, and Gordon takes high and inside. So Gordon is now at the point of his career where you can have reasonable expectations of what he's going to be able to produce. What he did last year, he's halfway to those numbers this year.
The young players all of a sudden start to grow up, and you talk about this team needs maybe a veteran presence that they might add at the trade deadline. Well, some of the young guys have to become veterans too, so you get the 1 or 2 older guys to put you over the top. But you have to have these reliable pieces. and have to lose your fraternity pin, pledge pin.
Here's the 2-2. Krienfeld's going to take it himself and complete the double play. No runs and one hit. A rapidly moving ball game. We go to the fourth already. 2-0 Kansas City. Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Now at your Honda dealer. And by Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box for the new Jalapeno Ranch or Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburger at participating restaurants. We're in Kansas City and we begin the top half of the fourth. And D. Gordon will be leading it off. A lot of Dodger fans in attendance tonight. First time the Dodgers have played here since 2005. Jim Tracy was the manager. Here's Gordon, whose dad, Flash, was the Rookie of the Year with the Kansas City Royals. Had a 17-game winner back in 1989. And there's a strike to Gordon, and it's 0-1. So it'll be D and Hanley Ramirez and Yasiel Puig to bat for the Dodgers in the fourth. They have had one base runner, a leadoff single for Ellis in the third, and he was promptly erased on a double play. Meanwhile, Guthrie is ahead, 0-2.
First signal that the lineup turned over, of course, was D. Gordon coming up. The second signal was Guthrie leading him off with a first curveball of the game for him. He throws about 10% curveballs in his arsenal. Did not throw any that first time around the order.
Call strike 3. Second time Gordon has gone down on strikes. First out of the fourth.
Always interests me this year when D has attempted to bunt with 2 strikes, but has taken these borderline pitches. This one caught him looking, but usually if you're going to square around to bunt, you're getting a better view of the strike zone and you're going to protect a little bit. You've got to say the reason I'm bunting with 2 strikes is because the defense is allowing me to be a little bit more liberal with my bunt location and possibly the strike location because you're doing it with 2 strikes.
Now Hanley Ramirez, who bounced to short in his first at-bat. He's the DH tonight. And into short center field, the second baseman Infante spins and makes the play. Why is it, Oral, some pitchers have remarkably small pitch counts?
Guthrie tonight is just pounding the strike zone with his fastball. I think the scouting report from the Dodgers was that he's going to do that and elevate, and they're deciding to swing at it early. And he's just making some good pitches, and we're making some poor swings.
Into whose hands is the pitcher playing? Into the hitter's hand, vice versa. In the case of Guthrie, 8 of 11 first pitch strikes. Yasiel Puig is the batter. And he drills one to center field. Dyson's got a long way to go. A long way to go. And he makes a catch against the wall. That's the third outstanding catch of the night. For Gerard Dyson, robbing Puig of extra base hits.
As we make our way to the bottom of the fourth inning, so naturally Zach Greinke back on the hill for his fourth inning of work against his former club. This is his third outing against the Royals, and of course he spent the majority of his career in Kansas City, 2004 to 2010, so 7-year span. He was 60 and 67 in that time, an earned run average of 3.82, 169 starts, but 210 games in a Royals uniform. He threw 12 complete games. Of course, 2009, his best year in Kansas City, 2009 All-Star, 2009 Cy Young Award winner, in which he went 16-8, a 2.16 ERA, guys.
And so here is Greinke facing Salvador Perez, who takes outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Perez with a home run in his first at-bat against Zach Greinke. Omar Infante on deck and Mike Moustakas to follow. Into right, and Puig is there. La-di-dee, la-di-da.
You know, Alana talking about Zach Greinke and his time here with the Royals. You know, there was a time, it was around after 2006, you know, it's documented when he went, he had kind of had a leave of absence for that, dealing with the social anxiety disorder that he had to deal with. But when he came back, he was in the bullpen. He was thrown out of the bullpen, and they were really excited because it was there in the bullpen where the pitching coach said, hey, you got to come out. He liked you. You mentioned him but looking like Maddox on a pitcher earlier today, Oro. Well, that's who he loved watching. He loved watching the Braves, watching the way those guys went about their business, not having to throw so hard to get people out. So prior to going to the bullpen, that's the way he pitched. He'd average around 84 to 88 to maybe 90 if he really needed it. But when he went in the bullpen, they realized he had 95. 96 when he wanted to, and they told him, they said, listen, that's the way you need to come out here and start throwing. Well, he was lights out coming out of the bullpen. They thought he was going to be just an amazing closer. Well, when they put him in the starting rotation, he kept that same mentality, started throwing in the mid-90s, and the rest is history.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Omar Infante, who flied to left field in his first at-bat.
It's known that arms play up in the bullpen and slightly down in the rotation, but Zach had the ability to not only take it up a gear, but stay in that gear.
2-2.
And I think that's what makes Zach Greinke so good, is if he goes, okay, you watch the Braves, which are that pitching staff, who wouldn't want to watch and emulate them, but go, okay, if I can take that mentality and yet still have the velocity to go with it, that's just going to make me a better pitcher.
You're talking about the days of Glavine, Smoltz, and Maddox.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out in the 4th. Just to our right. Omar Infante came up with the Tigers in 2002, then on to the Braves, Marlins, Tigers, and now his first year with Kansas City. Signed as a free agent over the winter. Hiding some experience at second base. The 2-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. If you listen closely after each pitch, you can hear Zach Greinke grunt and exhale, kind of like a tennis player.
Sometimes he squirts a word out.
Into left center field, in and over Kemp, and Ethier drops between them.
Well, the reason this ball drops because Omar Infante gets it off the end of the bat there. Didn't really square this ball up out in front just a little bit. And because of that, ball's in there. You see him kind of leaning out in front. Sometimes, hitters got to get lucky there too, Oral.
That ball fooled me up here, that full swing. I thought I was looking for the outfielders to go back, and it ended up falling short.
And the way it sounded too, sometimes as defensive players, you also go off the sound sometimes. You're going, wow, that sounded like it was hit well, so you assume, okay, big swing, sounded good, and that you're going, okay, wait a minute, it didn't carry out here. He actually got off the end of the bat.
Now Mike Moustakas and the Dodgers have the shift on for the left-handed hitter from Chatsworth High School. Takes up and in, 1 ball and no strikes.
Again, the shift is on, and interesting to make the double play ball if the ball is hit to the left side. Greenfeld will have to take it from the approach of a second baseman.
Moustakas popped to short in his first at-bat. Escobar is on deck. Infante, a short lead at first, hasn't stolen a bases. Actually, he's stolen 1 into short center field. Ethier comes on and makes a terrific play.
It is a nice job by Andre Ethier, and comparing the 2 center fielders today with Ethier and Dyson. Ethier gets the balls because he runs accurate routes. Dyson gets the balls because he runs accurate routes but has amazing speed. Andre out there probably with some of the lowest foot speed in all of baseball playing center field, but did an outstanding job with his jump and his route.
So now there's 2 out, and Alcides Escobar is coming up. Single to center and scored a run in his first at-bat. The Royals 2-0. There's a strike, and it's 0-1. Escobar with the hit is now at 289. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Royals already. Dodgers have 1 hit, and Guthrie has faced the minimum 12 batters.
Really come down to a 2-pitch outing for Zach Greinke so far with the 2-0 deficit. The home run by Perez on a hanging first pitch slider or cutter, and then the wild pitch to Escobar, who's at the plate now, that moved a runner into scoring position that allowed a 2-out hit. Changed the game to 2-0.
Dodgers have won 7 consecutive road interleague games. Haven't played here in Kansas City, of course, in 9 years. On 0-2 time call just before Greinke released the pitch.
I'll tell you why he called timeout. There was a bird flying in between the pitcher and the hitter there, and that's why there it is. You see that? Yeah, it was flying. And that's why Escobar ended up calling timeout. Here, you'll see this bird right there. Now it comes into the hitter's vision. He's like, timeout. He's able to get it.
In the name of Randy Johnson. Oh, yes. The humanity. One of the most unbelievable replays in television history. At least the bird never knew what hit him. Dyson is on deck. 0-2 with 2 out in the bottom of the 4th. Infante with the lead, and Greinke misses outside. Greinke now at 58 pitches, 38 for strikes. He has struck out 2, hasn't walked anybody. Dodgers arrived here late last night in heavy rain. It was overcast and muggy most of the day, and this has been, as it turned out, the nicest part of the day right now. 1-2.
So yeah, it's a beautiful day. Got a good turnout. Got a good crowd on hand. I mean, we've been talking about the Royals. They're coming off that 10-game win streak. When they got back home and they played on Friday, it was a sellout crowd here. The team excited that they were coming to watch their first-place Royals. So there's a lot of good things going on over here in Kansas City.
It's a good young team, 2.5 behind the Tigers in the American League Central. On 1 ball and 2 strikes, the runner goes. Pitches outside, a stolen base for Omar Infante, his 2nd of the season.
Well, Infante gets a great jump off of Zach Greinke here, and A.J. Ellis doing everything he can to try to see if he can get Infante, but really had no chance. It was just a tremendous jump.
He really stole it off of Zach, and I bet you he was guessing pitch type also, with Zach trying to put somebody away at the plate with a strikeout being ahead in the count.
So Escobar, 2 balls, 2 strikes, with a runner in scoring position, is struck out. And that will end the inning. For Zach Greinke, his 100th strikeout of the year against but 20 walks. There is historical significance to that, which we'll tell you about when we come back to the 5th. In the 4th inning, 3 strikeouts on the night, no walks, 100 strikeouts, and 20 walks. The fewest number of walks at the time of 100 strikeouts in a season belongs to Sandy Koufax, 19, with 100 strikeouts in 1965. And for Zach Greinke, 100 strikeouts and 20 walks. That equals a mark set by Don Sutton back in 1966. Dallas Perez, Koufax twice, 100 strikeouts and 21 walks. And here is Greinke, 100 strikeouts and just 20 walks. 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. But he's down 2-0. And Adrian Gonzalez drills a base hit into right field. You want a shift? We'll give you a shift.
Yeah, you get the shift there, and as a hitter, you hit that ball square, and you're going, oh my goodness, he might come up with that ball, because as you see this ball, he turns on it, and Omar Infante wasn't that far from missing this ball
over there. Line drive, and you see that outreach glove there. You're running to first, and you're going, if he catches that, I might keep running past first base and have a little chat with him.
So the leadoff hit for Adrian Gonzalez as Matt Kemp steps in. And Kemp has been on fire. Kemp with a 10-game hitting streak. 16 for 39, 410. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 home runs, and 10 RBIs since June 12th. Ethier on deck and Ellis to follow. Jeremy Guthrie. There's a base hit for Kemp, whose hitting streak now is at 11 games. So Matt Kemp is 1 for 2.
Now here's the time you really need to take advantage of it. If you're the Dodgers here, you get 2 runners on. Jeremy Guthrie had really been cruising up into this point. His pitch count is down, only 33 pitches here in the top of the 5th inning. Throwing an awful lot of strikes. You guys were talking about earlier, like, what was the game plan? Why so few pitches so far in this game? Well, your game plan coming up is here's a guy who's been, he's going to attack the strike zone. That's the scouting report. Also, his last 2 outings, he's had 9 strikeouts, so he has strikeout ability. So you don't want to get behind in the count. So you're going to go out there looking for a pitch around the zone and try to attack it. Right now, they're sitting well here. They got to take advantage of this and really try to get at least 1 on the board here.
So here's Ethier, who bounced to first base at his first at-bat. I shouldn't say bounce. He was really robbed of a base hit by Eric Hosmer. A diving stop by the line, robbing Ethier of what likely would have been a double. Ethier with 3 home runs and 26 runs batted in, hitting .248. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You're in a pretty good hitting count right here, and Guthrie's not been in the stretch very much, of course. The only time he's been in the stretch, he got a double play ball. So this is new and different for him, too, not being able to utilize the windup.
The 1-1, ball, 2 strikes.
We've seen it all the time when guys have no hitters and then they're broken up in the 6th, and all of a sudden they're in the stretch for the first time. How things start to go different. Well, they've developed that timing and pitched for so long in the windup. Sometimes they start to elevate when they get in the stretch or just can't find their rhythm soon enough, and the hitters have a little confidence. That's what the Dodgers are trying to build on right here.
Ethier at .248, .242 with runners in scoring position. A.J. Ellis on deck. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tried to take one for the team a little bit there.
Well, you mentioned that windup for Jeremy Guthrie, and now he's in that stretch. And the interesting thing about Jeremy Guthrie's windup, too, he actually, when he's in the windup, he has a little twist, very similar to Cueto over there for Cincinnati. Not quite as deliberate, but he does have a twist, and he doesn't do that when he's in the stretch.
Foul tipped it into the glove of Perez, first out of the 5th. 3rd strikeout for Guthrie.
Well, despite being out of the stretch, still very effective. Comes at him with a changeup down in the zone. It started off in the strike zone, and it just fell right out. Gets a piece of it, but Perez able to hold on.
Dodgers as a team this year, .264 with runners in scoring position. A.J. Ellis, of course, has spent a lot of time on the disabled list, so he's only 2 for 16. That's just $1.25 hitting in the clutch. Ellis singled to right in his first at-bat and would be promptly erased on a double play back in the 3rd inning. Tying runs are aboard in the 5th. But around, according to crew chief Hunter Wendelstadt, the first base umpire.
He decided late, but he looked like he went from up here, and right there I'd say yes, he went.
0-2 to Ellis. Miguel Rojas is on deck. 2-0 Royals. High and inside.
Guthrie doing a nice job using both parts of the strike zone, pitching down with his changeup and up with his fastball. Got ahead of Ellis with a first pitch fastball because of his reputation of taking. Then has made 2 nice pitches after that.
Guthrie in his 8th big league season. 15-game winner last year. Slow chopper to short. There's one, and that's all they're going to get. Kemp with the hard slide. Infante unable to make the throw. The Dodgers have runners at the corners, 2 out, bringing up Miguel Rojas.
Bet you Infante's kicking himself right now. He forgot how slow A.J. Ellis is. He would have made a completely different turn where he runs across the bag instead of staying in the line of Matt Kemp there. If he comes all the way across the bag, he still has plenty of time to get A.J. Ellis.
And when he kind of jumped over Matt Kemp there, I don't know if he had a full grip on the ball, though, either. I think he was kind of just bobbling it, but his momentum definitely wasn't about turning 2. He was really trying to make sure of 1, and like you said, he did have a lot of time.
Miguel Rojas bounced into a double play in his first at-bat. Takes high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Rojas now 8 for 29 since being elevated. That's 276. Has 4 runs batted in. Two balls, no strikes. Gonzalez, who began the inning with a single to right, is at third. He was followed by Kemp, who singled to left. Ethier struck out. And then Ellis at first base on the force out. Carlos Trian fell on deck. And the 2-0. 3 balls and no strikes.
Surprised they're not playing behind A.J. Ellis during this at-bat. With his speed, even with a 2-out double, I don't think A.J. can score from first. The way he's running so far as that ankle continues to get stronger.
This is the first 3-ball count of the night for Guthrie. Now it's 3-1. Juan Uribe still at Rancho. He's going to hit tonight and again tomorrow, and in all likelihood will rejoin the Dodgers when they return home on Thursday as Rojas fouls it out of play. Dodgers and Royals tomorrow. We'll be on the air. First pitch at 5:10 LA time. Kershaw and Danny Duffy in a battle of left-handers. Wednesday, Dan Herron and big game James Shields. And then the Dodgers head home for 4 with the Cardinals. And then 3 with the Cleveland Indians. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Ellis will be off and running from first. Gonzalez leads from third. And a slow chopper to second. Infante has an easy play, and the Dodgers threatened but failed to score, leaving 2 after 4.5. The Royals have a 2-0 lead. The fifth inning. Gerard Dyson will be leading it off. And while he got a single in his first at-bat, his glove was the story of the night so far tonight. He's made 3 outstanding defensive plays. None better than this one in the fourth inning, robbing Yasiel Puig of extra bases as he crashed into the wall. Take a good close look at it on Carl's cam. Yasiel Puig. Hank, it's the best I can do. So here is Dyson squaring the bunt and taking it back.
This defense that Kansas City puts out there, you got to hit the ball on the line or hit it over the fence, because you hit it routinely on the ground or routinely in the air, they are going to catch 90% of it.
And again, the old baseball cliche about being strong up the middle, that they are. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dyson. And with his base hit, in his first at-bat, lifted his average to .291. Kane on deck. Hosmer to follow.
Even the fans are good defenders here.
He brought his glove with him, and it wasn't merely a prop.
Replay showed it was a trap.
They called in New York. They were checking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cell phone.
Collect.
Well, here's your replay to see.
He tried to car. That's a trap.
It wasn't even a trap. He picked it up.
That was just a knockdown.
2-2 to Dyson, beginning the bottom of the fifth.
That was a tweener right there, Nomar. Either really come and get it. If you don't get it in time, you give a guy a hit.
Yeah, that Adrian was going, okay, I got to read the runner. I'm trying to read the ball. I'm trying to read everything on this play, because if I go get it and charge it, he'll probably pass me as a runner, and I may not be able to tag him there. So if I wait, maybe stretch and get it there, yeah, that's all you could do on that one.
If it's going to cost you a run at home, you might come get it and maybe have the runner at third. You might try and get him, but right there, he made the perfect play. Just didn't work out.
Greinke thought he had strike 3.
And Oral Hershiser next to me as a pitcher is going, that's a strike. I want that one. That's a strike 3. Strike zone will let us know. That's way off, Oral. Come on.
You know what? You get that ball on the outside, but a lot of times you don't get it on the inside.
Dyson prolongs the at-bat.
60 feet 6 inches away with a 6-foot stride, so you're throwing the ball about 54 feet, and you miss by a hair. It's a strike. Reward.
Oh my goodness, he wants to be
the
there.
Talent.
Boys.
You're giving all these men. How wide's the plate?
Whatever.
Dyson wins the battle. He's 2 for 2.
I just can't believe Oral wants the plate and a hair. Come on now. It's the plate. For Dyson, he didn't care. He's like, listen, I'll just get a pitch I can handle and just smack it right back up the middle.
Lorenzo Cain coming up, and he's 1 for 2. Cain singled in his first at-bat, took a call, third strike in his second. 2 runs and 7 hits for the Royals. The Dodgers no runs and 3 hits. Dodgers wasted a scoring opportunity in the top half of the fifth inning. First and second, nobody out. Runner goes, and he will go easily. Dyson to second base. His 11th stolen base of the year, and of course when Ellis couldn't come up with it cleanly, it was a fait accompli.
Good jump, good wheels, good protection at the plate. AJ is going to do everything he can to get up and throw it quickly, because the ball's breaking a little bit away from him, goes out of the webbing. Even if he catches it, I don't think he throws him out.
Well, let's see what Kane does. He doesn't mind bunting. Let's see if he's going to think about squaring around or just focus on hitting the ball to the right side.
Comes up empty. It's 1-1.
Didn't look like that swing to go to the right side there. That looked like a swing, like he was trying to knock the run in and himself.
He has not laid down a sacrifice bunt this year, but he's done pretty darn well with runners in scoring position. And that looks like that dunk shot is going to score a run. Kane with the single to right. Dyson's speed, as it turned out, no match even for Puig's arm.
And this ball was up and in, and he's just able to get enough on it so it can just fall just over the head of Gordon and in front of Puig. And I got a question. You got Zach Greinke there. I've seen him do this a couple of times, especially with Yasiel out there. Well, shouldn't he be behind, backing up home as compared to being in front of him?
Yep.
Eric Hosmer. Now time called by home plate umpire Mike Estabrook.
He's secondary cutoff man has the residue of frustration of giving up the hit. Kind of giving up on the play. But as much as we talked about earlier about Yasiel Puig not doing some things fundamentally sound, Zach knows where he's supposed to be there is behind home plate.
And Puig throwing off balance. All in all, not a bad throw, but Dyson, as we have seen, both on the base path, a stolen base tonight, and 3 outstanding defensive plays in center. He's got extraordinary speed.
Yeah, and that's why Yasiel threw off the run, because he knows that speed by Dyson, that if he wound up and let it go, it for sure wouldn't have been enough time to get Dyson at home. So he recognized that he's got some speed, see if he can get rid of it quickly and see if there might have been a chance.
Greinke, who was throwing nothing but first pitch strikes at the beginning of the game, has fallen behind 1-0 in 4 of the last 5 batters he has faced. There goes the runner. Ground ball to first. Gonzalez steps on the bag and throws to second base. That was really the only play he had. So Hosmer bounces out. Kane too quick. That's finally the first out of the 5th. It'll bring up Billy Butler.
Well, this is a good effort by Adrian Gonzalez. Watch how quick he gets rid of this ball, because he knows that the runner was going on the pitch. See it here. It's down the line. He's able to catch it while he's on first and see if he can get Kane slowing down on his way to second.
Watching Gonzalez now in his years with the Dodgers, he's about as good a first baseman at throwing to second base as there is in the game. It's a flawless motion, seemingly always accurate. And Billy Butler is coming up. Butler 1 for 2.
One of those outings for Zach Greinke. We've seen him have a few this year where he bends but he doesn't break. Gives the team a chance to come back. And this is a huge run sitting out there at second base for him and for the Dodgers. I know there's no decision because the pitchers are not hitting, but as far as keeping the game in balance with 1 out here and a man on second, down 3-0 already.
Into right. Puig is there. Tagging, and on his way to third is Kane.
Bending but not breaking, and we talked about it earlier, Charlie. It's a race to 4 runs because of these 2 teams and their records with 4 runs. Right now at 3. That's the edge.
The Royals are 32-5 when they score at least 4 this year. Dodgers aren't bad either when they score at least 4, 36-8. But 32-5, Kansas City. And the Royals bullpen is outstanding. Alex Gordon takes a strike. It's 0-1. Gordon lined to Gonzalez at his first at-bat and bounced into a double play. A run in for Kansas City here in the bottom of the fifth. They lead by 3. Salvador Perez is on deck. No balls and 2 strikes. Did you grunt after each pitch the way Frankie does?
No, I didn't grunt at all. Unless they got hits off me and runs and I lost, then I grunted a lot.
And groaned.
Yeah.
A beautiful Monday night in Kansas City. The sun is setting. And the 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Frankie, the Cy Young Award winner in 2009. When he was 16-8 and a 2.16 ERA. Came up with the Royals in 2004. Foul.
I think grunting kind of came into vogue when they decided that the exhale right at something physical relieves all the tension in your body and sometimes can give you better accuracy and better velocity, better hand speed.
From the Monica Seles School of Pitching.
Sharapova, I think it is too, and Seles.
Seles was the first one, and people were saying, what is that all about?
They almost wanted to make a rule for her not to be able to be that loud.
Well, that's because it was so loud. It was almost like a scream than it was a grunt.
Missing outside, 2-2. Salvador Perez is on deck. Lorenzo Cain is the runner at third. And Cranky trying to suture the wound here in the bottom of the fifth. Gordon should throw out the runner, and he does. But the Dyson single, a stolen base, and the Cain RBI hit has given Kansas City a 3-0 lead as we venture on to the 6th. Next episode of Backstage Dodgers as the LA Kings bring the Stanley Cup to Dodger Stadium, and we take an unforgettable look back at Clayton Kershaw's no-hitter. Don't miss this exciting new episode of Backstage Dodgers Thursday at 5 o'clock right here on Sportsnet LA. Well, the Dodgers and Zach Greinke have some work to do. Greinke in discussion with his battery mate A.J. Ellis. John Valentin getting up and letting the fellas talk among themselves with Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach. Greinke's done reasonably well through 582 pitches, 54 for strikes. But he and the Dodgers are down by 3, and Carlos Triunfel will lead it off for the Dodgers against Jeremy Guthrie, who's about to throw but his 49th pitch. It's outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. 48 pitches, 34 for strikes. He has struck out 3 and given up 3 base hits.
He's had some nice tail on his pitches, his fastball, to keep them out of the middle of the plate.
Well, what tells me that he has so much movement on his fastball is watching how many hitters have had a check swing on the fastball. You usually see that more on the breaking pitch, but we've seen that on that 2-seamer, which is starting off in the strike zone, and they see it as it's falling off, and they're fouling out of the zone, and they're trying to hold up.
Got great arm speed on his changeup, too. Nice 4-seamer. It's been 93 to 95. The 2-seamer you're talking about, Nomar, and then that changeup down about 87, 88.
In search of but his 5th win of the year, 3.86 ERA. He delivers a strike, and it's 2-2.
And to go with those pitches, he's also hitting the corners. So that puts it in your head as a hitter. You're going, okay, he's pounding the corners both inside and out. He's not just sticking to one side. So I can't go up there eliminating a side.
Last year when Guthrie was a 15-game winner, most wins he ever had in a season, 15-12. A career ERA of 4.25. But he has gotten better with age. His 8th big league season, and the 2-2. Escobar throws out Triunfel, 1 out.
You talk about Guthrie getting better with age. We noticed that, that hip turn I talked about in the windup as compared to the stretch. It was really when the pitching coach Dave Island came over here with Kansas City that started to talk to him about that, as possibly getting that hip turn a little bit, getting a little bit extra force going to home plate. They said it actually allowed him his release point to get out in front more, and it increased his fastball, the velocity.
Island out of the Yankee organization as Gordon takes outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. In the last 17 years in Kansas City, there have been 3 pitchers with at least 15 wins, and 2 of the 3 are pitching tonight. Guthrie with his 15 last year. Greinke 16 in 2009, and Paul Byrd won 17 games in 2002. Two balls and a strike. Two years ago, Jeremy Guthrie came over from Baltimore. Well, that's going to be a base hit. Thank you and good night. So Gordon with the bunt single.
And Gordon's been thinking about this bunt all game. He squared around in his first at-bat. He squared around his last at-bat with 2 strikes, looking to bunt something down there. Finally gets the pitch, lays it down, and lays it perfectly.
Finish a thought on Guthrie. In 2012, he wasn't doing so well in Baltimore. Jonathan Sanchez, who used to do pretty well for the Giants, wasn't doing well here. So the 2 teams decided to make a trade. You take this guy, we'll take that guy, okay. Where's Sanchez now? Who knows? But here's Guthrie now enjoying a second solid season in a row for Kansas City. Now here's a strategic question for both of you. The Dodgers are down 3-0. Perez has an outstanding throwing arm. Gordon has 39 stolen bases. Is there any thought of stealing here as Ramirez takes a strike.
Not for me right now. I need more than one run. You know, you don't want to take D out of his game, but these guys are paid to drive in runs. The next two hitters, Hanley Ramirez and Yasiel Puig. If D gets an amazing jump and feels really good about it, I like my hitters to hit right here.
Trailing by 3. Ramirez fouls it back, and it's 0-2.
You got to. I agree with you, or I got to let the middle of my lineup swing the bat. It's a little bit different if we're talking in the back end of the lineup and we're just looking for that single and stuff to knock somebody in. But these guys have the power to drive it out of the ballpark. Plus, you're facing a Royals team that also has a pretty solid bullpen as well. So I can't afford to be giving up any outs right now.
Hanley makes out. I might do it with 2 outs with Yasiel up there. He also then in your lineup tonight, if you see who has had the best at bats, Yasiel's had some of the best at bats of anybody, even though he doesn't have anything to show for it.
A 1-run game might be a different story. A 3-run game, not
right.
so much.
Right. And the equation you just said about Guthrie's delivery and Perez behind the plate, the way he throws, it just seems like the whole equation is kind of tilted and bent towards staying put. The defense is solid and really good. The scoreboard tells you 3-0, and the middle of the order tells you you need more than 1 run. These guys are paid to drive you in, so tilted towards the conservative side of the running game right here.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 6th inning, and there's 1 out. Broken bat to third. They've got only 1 play, and that's the first because Gordon runs too quickly. But Gordon will go to second. Ramirez breaks his bat. 2 out, and Puig coming up. Puig is slid to center twice and robbed once. Jared Dyson in center field. It's just been all over the place. This is a wide open ballpark. 387 to the power alleys. 410 straightaway center, 330 down the lines.
Almost the size of a Colorado as far as the field out there, the outfield, and you got a lot of room to cover, and he is shrinking it in a hurry when he's standing out there.
Ed Yost claims there is more outfield footage here than Colorado. Claims this is the biggest. Hard to dispute. No balls and a strike to Puig. Slicing, fouling out of play. Puig with runners in scoring positions hitting .349 this year, ranks him 6th in the National League. The Dodgers tonight 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. At this point, it's been the pitching mastery of Jeremy Guthrie at his 16th start of the year. 3 strikeouts, no walks. Dodgers have had 1 base runner to third and 1 to second. And Puig fouls it over our head. It could not be a more beautiful night here in Kansas City. 76 at game time. And on 0-2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Heavy rains here yesterday and last night, overcast all day. And the baseball gods were smiling tonight. Long about game time, the skies finally opened, and mostly blue and colorful clouds ahead. Into right field, and it's going to be caught by Lorenzo Cain. Puig has hit the ball twice on the screws tonight and has nothing to show for it. Robbed by Dyson in the 4th, Lines to Kane to end the sixth.
Defense trying to hold this Royals team right now to a 3-0 lead until the Dodger offense can get things going here in the better end of the game. Talking a little bit more about Zach Greinke, of course, on the hill tonight, and Clayton Kershaw goes tomorrow for the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 2 here, of course, coming off the first no-hitter of his already illustrious career, recording his 7th win of the season in an 8-0 Dodgers victory. Struck out 15 batters without issuing a single walk on a season-high 107 pitches. Clayton Kershaw on the bump once again tomorrow. Still hard to believe how effective he was in that no-hitter, guys.
There are those who say that was the greatest game ever pitched. Of course, you can argue till the cows come home, and out here, I suppose that's an appropriate term. But 15 strikeouts, no walks, and again, had it not been the errant throw by Hanley Ramirez, a perfect game.
Only game to get a higher score was Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game. As far as grading just pitching performance.
And that 20th strikeout. Boy, that Perez can hit, can he? He homered in his first at-bat, flied to right in his second, and leads off with a double in the sixth in his third at-bat.
Then up breaking ball again from Zach that Perez picks on. It's again a slider slash cutter that does not make its way to the outer half or down, and Perez picks on it like it's a typical hanging slider that hitters feast on.
So Perez is 2 for 3. Also, he's got an outstanding throwing arm. He may be the best catcher in the game that nobody knows about. The other one across the state line, Yadier Molina, everybody knows about.
You know, footnote on Clayton Kershaw, we talked about Zach Greinke with the 100 strikeouts tonight, only 20 walks over this year, the second fastest of that, and fewest walks other than Sandy Koufax. Well, Clayton Kershaw, 64 in the third innings this year, 8 walks.
To go with 86 strikeouts.
And 86 strikeouts, so here he comes. Talk about rewriting record books.
Foul back to the screen. That is 0-2 to Omar Infante, who's 1 for 2. And lost in that wonderful performance by Kershaw. Had it not been that defensive gem by Miguel Rojas behind third base, it would have been a one-hitter. And that was 2 batters after Hanley made the throwing error. Rojas starting at third tonight. Uribe still at Rancho tonight, tomorrow, and probably will rejoin the Dodgers when they return home on Thursday to face the Cardinals.
Hanley was a true professional after that game, making that error, but standing up in front of his locker and taking the heat and taking the responsibility. And you could tell he genuinely wanted it for Kirsch and didn't want to make an error there, but he did the right thing and talked about it.
1-2 with Perez leading from second. And the first guy to put his arm around Hanley Ramirez after the throwing error was Clayton Kershaw. Who, by the way, is the National League Player of the Week. Who else?
Josh Beckett got it, didn't he, the week that he threw his no-hitter?
Yes, he did.
So all you people out there, if you want to know who the National League Player of the Week is, if there's a no-hitter.
You like his chances.
That's a good chance.
Got a chance.
That's what they give the pitchers. You know, they go over there, you throw a no-hitter, here, Player of the Week.
Well, you would tie a guy if you hit for the cycle.
That's the Oral Hershiser.
I know it is. It's 2 E's. Oh, boy.
4 strikeouts now for Greinke. 1 out, and Moustakas coming up. Moustakas is 0 for 2. He's had a tough year. At 176, he was sent out for a time. Lives in Northridge and went to high school at Chatsworth. One ball, no strikes. 2 balls, no strikes. When Moustakas came up about halfway through the 2011 season, hit 263. Royals thought, aha, this guy's got a chance to be special. 2012, he had 242. Last year, 233. And now his average has dipped down to 176. Rojas an easy play, 2 out.
So far for Zach Greinke, and this is just the 6th inning. In 4 out of the 6 innings, the Royals have been able to get the leadoff runner on base. And 2 of those times, they've come around to score. Obviously, one was a leadoff home run by Perez, but also the last inning in the 5th, there was a leadoff single by Dyson, and he ended up coming around to score. So this would be huge if Zach Greinke with a leadoff double, hopefully if he can get out of this, hopefully carry some momentum for them and help them out offensively.
Well, the Dodgers have been held to just 4 base hits. They've had 1 reasonable rally. Escobar takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. The Dodgers had first and second, nobody out in the 5th. And that was about as close to a rally as they've had. With an Ethier would strike out, Ellis and Rojas would ground out, and that was that. Royals scored 2 in the 2nd and 1 in the 5th. Greinke misses outside.
Zach Greinke has had more traffic on the bases than there's been up there on I-70. The way this game has gone.
The interstate, for those of you who have seen Royal Stadium on television over the years, know full well, just goes from right field to left, left field to right. This is the I-70. Go west, young man, to Denver. Go east to St. Louis. Good crowd on hand on this Monday night, first of this 3-game series. First time the Dodgers and Royals have faced each other in 9 years. And Greinke beat the Dodgers 9 years ago. Beat Derek Lowe that night.
He was a little younger and a little lighter in the wallet then. He'd get the W.
Weren't we all?
Younger.
Royals have out-hit the Dodgers 9-4, outscored them 3-0. Two balls, two strikes, and two out. On 2-2 to Alcides Escobar. Into right. Puig can't get it. It's a fair ball. Puig runs into the wall. Escobar runs to second. Escobar will be held at third. 4-0 Kansas City. A triple for Escobar, knocking home Salvador Perez, who has scored 2 of the 4 runs for the Royals tonight.
Well, he hits this ball down the line, and watch the effort over here by Yasiel Puig. I mean, he is doing everything he can to try to get to that ball. Look how hard he hits the wall, ends up falling down because his momentum was taking it in there, and having to get that ball and get in as quick as possible because Escobar was not stopping. You heard the crowd cheering, thinking that they might send him all the way home. But Yasiel making a great effort there and just couldn't get to it.
Think back 30 years or more ago here in Kansas City. Fellas like Willie Wilson or Freddie Patek might have tripled into the right field corner. There were some great teams here in Kansas City in the mid-70s into the early 80s. Jamie Wright, who is 1/3 of an inning away from 2,000 in his career, is warming in the Dodger bullpen. And the Royals this year, when they score at least 4, are 32-5, and they lead by 4. Dyson fouls it back, and it's 0-1.
4 seems like 10 right now, the way the offense has been functioning. Only 4 hits for the Dodgers.
And Guthrie has thrown all of 67 pitches through 6 innings. 4 runs and 10 hits for the Royals. Into center field, that's going to knock in a run. Dyson is 3 for 3. Escobar has scored 2. And now the Royals lead 5-0.
The ball's up, and when the ball's been up, it's hurt Zach. The last hit was just hitting the right place. This one's hitting the right place too, but you will critique yourself as a pitcher when the ball starts getting hit in the air, even when it's hit weakly. A weakly hit ground ball is usually an out. Weakly hit fly ball has a chance to fall in.
Well, of course, double switches are not part of the game in the American League. So if they're going to make a change, they're going to make a change. As Rick Honeycutt is talking to Chuck Krim, is Wright ready? Well, Ellis and the infield have bought time. Like Madigan's going to get a police escort. That's the end of the line for Zach Greinke. A homecoming that Greinke did not exactly envision. Not much to say other than I'll take the ball. Interesting reaction from Greinke and his homecoming to Kansas City. tablet. Get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store or visit Dodgers.com today. So Zach Greinke's night is done. Exactly 100 pitches, 64 for strikes, 5 2/3. He entered the game with an ERA of 2.57. He'll leave it at 2.89, although the runner at first base, Dyson, is his statistical responsibility. And for Jamie Wright, if he gets this batter out, he will officially have tossed 2,000 innings in his career. This batter happens to be Lorenzo Cain, who is 2 for 2 tonight. Cain has 2 hits. Perez has 2 hits. Escobar has 2 hits. And Gerard Dyson at first base has 3 hits. Of the 11, the Royals have pounded out 5-0 Kansas City. There goes the runner. Pitch is a strike. Throw to second base. Not even close. Second stolen base of the night for Dyson. He has 12 on the year.
A good jump and a good pitch to throw on, but he just outruns this right here. Combination of the jump, Jamie Wright's time to the plate, and his speed got the bag.
So Cain has singled twice and driven in 1. A 1-1 from Jamie Wright. 2-1. Eric Hosmer is on deck. Greinke entered the game hoping to become the third 10-game winner in the National League, joining Adam Wainwright and Alfredo Simon. It's not going to happen tonight.
He was off his game tonight. It was, as far as location is concerned for Zach, it was not his best. He had good arm speed. He had very nice changeup tonight. His two-seamer looked good, but he made some mistakes with his slider and his fastball tonight that were very non-Greinke-esque.
Did not have a perfect inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Into center. Ethier's got a long way to run, and he'll track it down to end the inning. But not before Greinke is knocked out. The Royals score 2 and take a 5-0 lead as we head to the 7th. At LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box for the new Jalapeno Ranch or Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburgers at participating restaurants. And by the Ram 1500, Motor Trend's 2014 Truck of the Year and first ever back-to-back champion. A daunting task facing the Dodgers as we head to the top half of the seventh inning, trailing Kansas City 5-0. The Royals this year, when scoring at least 4, are 32-5. Adrian Gonzalez 1 for 2. He'll be followed by Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier. Kemp, with his base hit, now has an 11-game hitting streak. Gonzalez is 1 for 2 tonight, takes inside, it's 1-1. Meanwhile, Jeremy Guthrie has been mowing through the Dodgers with the greatest of ease. Hosmer robs Gonzalez yet again. It was actually Ethier who Hosmer robbed in the second inning. Now he takes one away from Gonzalez.
You know, he does not play with first baseman feet.
No, he's got incredible feet up there, but also what helps him guarding that line is the fact that they had the shift over there on Gonzalez. So you as a first baseman are hugging the line, taking it away, and he took it away there. And like you said, Charlie, he took it away against Ethier as well.
And in talking to Ned Yost, now in his 5th year as the manager of the Royals, talking about Hosmer today, he said, look, his numbers may not reflect it today, but this kid, he thinks, has MVP ability. Hit with power, and certainly tonight we see he can field too. Kemp takes a strike, 1-1. Also talking to the Royals folks today about I don't know about controversial, but it's certainly a trade that raised a lot of eyebrows last year when they sent Will Myers to Tampa Bay, the highly prized prospect who unfortunately is out for the year with an injury over there. Kansas City got James Shields and Wade Davis out of it. Davis's ERA this year is 1.11. Shields is the ace of the staff. He solidified their rotation. You talk to the Kansas City people and they say, well, yeah, we saw the negative response, all of that. We do that trade 100 times out of 100 times. They got Big Game James, who the Dodgers will see on Wednesday. They got an outstanding 8th inning guy as Kemp fouls it back. And one of the things that Kansas City does have, they've got a lot of good young hitters. So they were able to trade a good pitcher or get a good hitter for a terrific starter. Will be a free agent after this year. And they get Davis with an ERA of a shade over 1.
Well, Wade Davis has just been incredible, lights out for them coming out of the bullpen. And they also have a great closer in Greg Holland over there as well. But they really, like you mentioned earlier about this team being young and talking about that veteran leadership or somebody they might go look at possibly at the trade deadline. Well, James Shield has also brought that veteran mentality into this clubhouse and has helped in more ways than one.
Kemp fouls it back. I remember the 1969 Mets, one of the great baseball stories of the second half of the 20th century. They were good, they were magical, and all of that. The thing that turned that team around in the middle of the season, right around the trade deadline, a little bit earlier, was the acquisition of Don Clendenin, who was a veteran, played initially with the Pirates, then with the Expos. And when he arrived, he was the key veteran that solidified that young team. And I can't help but wonder if the Royals are a Don Clendenin type acquisition away from making a run in the American League this year.
The one thing the acquisition does that everybody knows, it brings ability into the club that's usually needed. The other thing that it does is it lets the players know that the front office is behind them. It puts a spark into the locker room, like, you read about other teams getting help, but if you don't get it, you feel depressed almost on a daily basis and distracted that, when are we going to get our guy? And if you get that extra over the top veteran leadership along with those two things, that'd be outstanding.
You know who else was much like, that's Dayton Moore, the general manager of the Royals. You go back to the mid-'70s with that great team with Willie Wilson and Frank White. They made an acquisition with Cincinnati. They got Hal McRae. McRae was that kind of a player who kind of brought it all together. Kemp is struck out. That's 4 strikeouts for Guthrie. 2 out and nobody on.
Nomar, we look up at the scoreboard and there's 4 hits for the Dodgers. And most of these guys haven't played in this ballpark. How long does it take you to get used to sitting on the bench, looking at the batter's eye, to really believe that, all right, I'm at home here. I can win here and hit here.
You'll notice that at batting practice here. The batter's eye is not the issue. It's a good batter's eye. You can see everything. It's good lighting here. Right now, Jeremy Guthrie is just pitching extremely well, keeping these hitters off balance. I mean, we see how efficient he's been with his pitches. That was just his 81st pitch so far. And then you also have great defense being played behind him as well. So all of those factors going against you.
And most of the Dodgers had never seen Guthrie before. The only ones who have, Utera, Gonzalez, Hanley Ramirez 1 for 2, and Uribe, he's in Rancho.
Yeah, it's really easy to say I haven't been in that stadium before and say, I got to get, you know what, that's not the case. As long as there's good lighting and there's a good hitter's eye, it's a little bit different if you're dealing with that, or if it's a day game and you're dealing with shadows that you haven't ever seen before. But in this situation, you got to give a lot of credit to Guthrie so far.
And another flawless inning. Dodgers go down in order. We have arrived at the 7th inning stretch. And the Royals are comfortably ahead, 5-0. Butler and Alex Gordon coming up against Jamie Wright. Kansas City 5-0, having out-hit the Dodgers 11-4. Royals took a 2-0 lead in the 2nd inning, and the Dodgers have been in their rearview mirror ever since. Hosmer 0 for 3. 2 outstanding defensive plays. Billy Butler and then Alex Gordon to follow against Jamie Wright. This is inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Jamie Wright throwing his 2,000th inning in the big leagues. And as a pitcher, how impressive is that, Earl?
Longevity. Multiple roles, he's done it all.
Came up with the Rockies in 1996, then on to Milwaukee and St. Louis and Kansas City and Colorado and San Francisco and Texas. Must have a great memorabilia collection. Kansas City, Cleveland, Seattle, Dodgers, Tampa Bay, and back to the Dodgers. Wright was a first-round pick of the Rockies in 1993. His picture and his original jersey in a glass casing on the broadcast level at Coors Field. He was considerably younger then. Here's the 1-2. Into left field, Kemp is there for the first out of the 7th. Now, one of the things also about Jamie Wright, when he signed with the Dodgers this year, it was the first time he had a guaranteed contract going into spring training. He has had to sing for his supper every year wherever he's played.
Not a nicer guy in that locker room. A great teammate, will do anything and mentors a lot of the younger guys and any issues that pop up.
Much like you have utility players who can play any number of positions. Wright is that way as a pitcher. Long, short, eat up innings if need be.
Poised in the pressure situations when he gets the opportunity. He doesn't look at it upon, oh, this is going to really run me up the flagpole and I'll start getting a different role. Just goes out there and does his job.
"16 big league seasons."
When you look around a bullpen and you see guys that can throw 98, you see other guys that have exceptional cutters or great sliders, and you know you don't have the tools of the other guys, and you know the age group you're in, and you just realize this is your slot and your place, and you're appreciated for it.
D. Gordon throws out Butler, 2 out.
You can protect the rest of the bullpen as far as going out there and doing your job, and nobody else has to get up, and you're eating innings that really the winning pieces don't have to pitch and don't have to be relied upon. You are doing your job and you are contributing to all wins, even though you don't pitch in a lot of winning situations. You're contributing the manager's confidence and protection of the other pieces.
Now Alex Gordon. When Jamie Wright was pitching in high school in Oklahoma, one of his biggest fans stands in left field tonight. Matt Kemp used to watch Jamie, a little bit older, and marvel at his skills in high school. No balls and 2 strikes. Jamie Wright will turn 40 on Christmas Eve. And with the shift on, Gordon makes the backhanded stab and a 1-2-3 inning for Jamie Wright, who has faced 4 batters tonight and retired them all. Dodgers down to their final 6 outs, trailing by 5. Royals 5-0. Time to look ahead at what's coming up on the Dodger calendar, brought to you by 76. Alana, Laurel, and Nomar and I will be back with you tomorrow. First pitch at 5 o'clock Pacific. Dodgers and Royals will wrap it up on Wednesday, and then homeward bound, a 4-game series with the Cardinals. And then after the Cardinals come in for 4, the Indians are in for 3, then out to Colorado and Detroit. Before you know it, we'll be looking at the All-Star break in a couple of weeks. A.J. Ellis will lead it off in the 8th against Jeremy Guthrie, who has been brilliant through 7, 83 pitches, that's all. 60 of them for strikes. Ellis has one of the 4 base hits for the Dodgers. And a call strike, 0-1. So for the folks who are watching this game on either coast, Kansas City is one of these clubs that can be easily overlooked. But that's a big mistake. Because as we have discovered tonight, Guthrie, Shields, Duffy is a terrific young pitcher. Ventura, who went yesterday, is outstanding. Their bullpen is solid. We see that these guys can play defense. They can run. It's a good club.
They had the budget to go get maybe a veteran bat and a veteran starting pitcher.
Ellis is down. 5th strikeout for Guthrie. First out of the 8th.
Type of club that plays really well in tight games, too. You got speed, you got defense, you got a bullpen. Get to the 7th inning on, you've got a lot of pieces that would function very well in a 1-run game.
Well, you talk about those offensive numbers. They may not hit for a lot of power, but they figure out how to produce a run. And when you have a solid bullpen, you know, Ned Yost likes the team when they're in those tight ball games. These are those teams that can come out there and beat you in those situations.
Miguel Rojas with a 1-out single to center. Mentioned late games, or when the Royals have a lead after 7, they're money in the bank, 32-1. And in the Central Division, trailing the much higher profile Tigers by 2.5. The Indians, of course, come into Dodger Stadium next week. Dodgers had such an enjoyable stay in Minnesota. Now, Carlos Trienfeld has been called back, and Justin Turner is going to come up and pinch hit. So presumably, Rojas will move from 3rd to short, and Turner will take over at 3rd base in the bottom of the 8th. As Turner fouls it back, it's 0-1. Hanley Ramirez has been the DH tonight. Trienfeld, by the way, was 0 for 2. Turner has been a terrific understudy for the injured Juan Uribe. Uribe's been out 6 weeks.
It seems shorter than that because Turner has played so well.
Figgins has done well over there. Rojas a little bit as well. Since May 11th, Turner is hitting merely .367. 3 home runs and 15 runs batted in. One hop to short. That one eats up Escobar. A base hit. You remember Justin Turner way back in February and March. He was in a battle with D. Gordon, among others, for that 2nd base spot. Tell more about that one.
Yeah, that ball was hit hard over there, and you see Escobar. That's kind of the one that you get in the middle. You're going, I don't know whether I can back up, whether I can charge it, how I'm exactly going to field the ball, and you're just hoping you get a decent enough hop and can come up with it. and he was unable to.
Now D. Gordon 1 for 3. Last at-bat laid down a perfect bunt up the third base line. First 2 at-bats, he was struck out by Guthrie. Giants and Padres are in the second inning in San Francisco. Giants open up a 10-game homestand. Into left, Alex Gordon, an easy play. Second out of the 8th.
They've set the table a few times, but the Dodgers have not capitalized on it at all, and Guthrie has been just outstanding. He has had 3 innings tonight where he's gone single digit on pitch count. The first, the second, and the 5th. 8, 4, and 5, and he's only had 9 so far this inning. Even though he's in a jam, 9 pitches into it.
92 pitches, 69 for strikes. Hanley Ramirez is the batter, and he's 0 for 3.
What helps with that pitch count being down is 19 first pitch strikes. Make that 20.
Guthrie has faced every team in the major leagues, and finally tonight, the Dodgers are the 30th and final team he will have faced. Dodgers say thank you very much. We could wait another 10 years.
Yeah.
Ramirez has bounced out twice, popped up once. 1-1. Interleague play this year, the Dodgers 5-3. To left field and deep. And that is off the wall. 1 run is in, 2 runs are in on the double by Hanley Ramirez. As Rojas and Turner cross the plate, it is 5-2. For Hanley Ramirez, his 21st double of the year. RBIs 45 and 46.
On the 95th pitch, the Dodgers pick up some runs. A high changeup right there that Guthrie has had down most of the night. But this double gets him on the board and gets him off the mat. Got 4 outs left to work with.
And Guthrie's night is done. Quite a performance for Jeremy Guthrie, a tip of the cap. And the Dodgers are not the least bit sorry to see him go. And 2/3. 2 runs and 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks, 95 pitches, 71 for strikes. And until here in the 8th inning, the Dodgers couldn't touch him. Well, it's not going to get any easier for the Dodgers either. Wade Davis making his 30th appearance. Look at the ERA. Opponents can barely touch him. 54 strikeouts, 14 walks. Came over from Tampa Bay along with James Shields in the Will Myers trade. Puig on the first pitch, breaks his bat and grounds out. Davis even more efficient than Guthrie was. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Winner, 3-time All-Star, 3-time National League ERA champion, and on June 18th, he threw his first no-hitter. Kershaw's next scheduled home start this Sunday, and to celebrate the 22nd no-hitter in franchise history, the Dodgers will be offering a limited amount of $22 tickets for this game to honor number 22. Purchase your tickets today at Dodgers.com/no-hitter. You won't have to wait that long. Kershaw will be on display tomorrow night. Facing left-hander Danny Duffy, also a very good young pitcher for Kansas City. Kershaw in search of his 8th win, and here is Chris Perez. Making his 30th appearance, still looking to right his ship. Got up to a good April. May and June, he has been adrift. Salvador Perez, 2 for 3, a double, a home run, and a couple of runs scored tonight. Takes the ball inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Infante and Moustakas to follow. So beside Perez, a couple of other changes for the Dodgers. Just saw Justin Turner in pursuit of that foul ball inserted into the game after pinch hitting for Trienfeld. And Miguel Rojas, who had been playing at third base, moves to short. On this night, Hanley Ramirez had been the designated hitter. Comebacker, easy play for Perez, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 8th. So Jamie Wright won 1 1/3 tonight, and he has crossed a 2,000 inning plateau in his career. Here's Infante, 1 for 3. They've gone to the third in San Francisco. The Padres and Giants are scoreless. So the Dodgers in their first return to Kansas City since 2005. Quick trip down memory lane. Who played for the Dodgers that night beside Derek Lowe, who started? Well, the leadoff hitter was Antonio Perez. Repko in right. J.D. Drew in center. Followed by Jeff Kent. Almedo Saenz was the DH, the killer tomato. Aesop Choi was the first baseman. Jason Phillips was the catcher. Jason Grabowski was the left fielder. And Mike Edwards was the third baseman. In 2005, the Dodgers were 71 and 91.
Like going back to read a bad book. People don't go back and read bad books.
Right.
You just leave it on the shelf. Maybe it looks good. Maybe the binder's nice for the library, but other than that, you don't go back and read it.
5-2, bottom of the eighth. Maybe you do.
Those are the books you buy by the pound, just to decorate.
Just to decorate. Decorative books.
You're not allowed to read that box score ever again,
nice.
Charlie. That's the last time we'll ever hear that.
Turner. And Gonzalez at the other end. There's 2 out.
The goal of this season is to have the box scores bound and be something that people will want to read 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Bound or burned?
Well, we want them bound and we want it looking good. We'd also like them to end up with a ring on their finger. That would be an awful lot of fun.
Well, that makes a nice cover.
You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need.
Oh, boy.
2 out.
You can relive great lyrics.
It's the bad box scores you're not high on, huh?
I'm not high on the bad box.
Right, just checking. 2 out and nobody on. Moustakas is 0 for 3.
Like a bad restaurant, we usually don't go back.
Two out in the bottom of the eighth. Moustakas tried to check his swing, got no help from Mike DeMuro. DeMuro's father, Lou DeMuro, Major League umpire over in the American League, and Hunter Wendelstadt, the first base umpire and the crew chief. Of course, his dad, Harry Wendelstadt. A family trade. It's been an up and down year for Chris Perez. Still trying to find his sea legs. Alana Rizzo has more.
No question about it, Charlie. 0-3 so far this season, a 5.61 ERA. He has not pitched since June 15th against Arizona, where he went a third of an inning and gave up 3 hits and 2 runs, including a home run. I asked Don Mattingly why he hadn't pitched, if there was something wrong with him as far as something physically limiting him from coming into the game. He said, no, there isn't anything health-wise that's a concern. He was just looking for the right situation. Now, earlier this season, of course, Chris Perez and Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, had worked about pitching from the other side of the rubber, but perhaps you guys can talk about what you've seen from Perez this year as far as his struggles are concerned.
He started so well, Oral, in April, and then seemed to lose his way in May.
Yeah, you know, remember the game where he got an opportunity to save the game, and we noticed his rhythm and his mechanics just seemed to start flying apart. And ever since that adrenaline rush game, it seemed like he didn't come into the game with the same presence. It was like there was something on the line, and it had earned something, and it was like he was trying to do too much. And it really took him completely out of his game, and I think it put him out of whack for an awful long time.
You know, and of course he was a closer in Cleveland, so it's not an experience that was unusual for him.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just that, that adrenaline is different. Like, I'm back in the closing spot. where he was successful at it, and you're back in there and you're like, all right, here I go. This is trying to field that again.
There were things at stake. I mean, Brian Wilson was not pitching well at the time, so the 8th inning was still up for grabs in some people's minds. Kenley Jansen had gone through a rough period against San Francisco and was being overworked, and they might go give him a few more opportunities if he did well there.
Early in the season, on paper, it was Perez in the 7th, Wilson in the 8th, and Jansen in the 9th. Of course, then Wilson got off track. League resurfaced. And one guy who's been steady as she goes, 56, is J.P. Howell.
And I think, not to just point to that one outing, because he could have definitely recovered from that outing and stayed in rhythm, but it just seemed like a landmark day where things started to spiral out of control.
Kemp in foul territory makes the catch, but Perez retires the Royals in order. Last licks for the Dodgers in the 9th, and they'll be sending up Puig and Gonzalez and Kemp against Greg Holland, the Royals closer. The Royals closer, he has been with Kansas City his entire professional life, a 10th round pick in 2007. Last year, an ERA of 121. It's ballooned to 188 this year. Opposing hitters are hitting 217 against them this year, 170 last year. So he's about as good as it gets. And again, a lot of these Royals players do not get the national attention that they should. And he's another one of them. And after Guthrie's performance tonight, 7 2/3, 2 runs and 7 hits. Gonzalez takes high and away, 1 ball and no strikes.
Adrian will have to turn it up a little bit against Holland. He's going to be the hardest thrower in the game. His average fastball is somewhere around 96 miles an hour, but he can get close to the centennial mark.
95's close enough.
Well, if you're wondering, on Friday he snapped a 15 2/3 innings scoreless streak, which dated back to May 6th.
Whew.
But it's the first time he's allowed multiple earned runs since 2013. That's 95 appearances in between.
Wow.
Dodgers have him just where they want him. Here's the 1-1 to Gonzalez. Little late on that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Holland, 5'10", 205. 5th year in the big leagues. Just 28. Just inside with a slider.
He's not worried about deception because he's got such great stuff. He kind of runs away from his arm and shows you the whole arm swing, and pretty wide open for a hitter to see him coming at you.
I'm really not worried about seeing it with him. I'm worried about the 98 mile an hour coming at me with a good breaking ball.
Well, Gonzalez has hit it long to right, and gone, a home run. It's 5-3. Holland allowed a game-winning home run to the Mariners on Friday night. With a Gonzalez home run, the Dodgers are within 2.
Mexico wins in the World Cup. Adrian goes deep wearing his Mexican soccer jersey to the ballpark today. Maybe that'll lead to a couple more runs here in the ninth. Get to play some extra frames, but this is a breaking ball that he just stays right on, down and through. What a beautiful swing.
For Gonzalez, his 13th home run of the season, now has 46 runs batted in. Matt Kemp takes a strike. It's 0-1. There are a fair number of Dodger fans here in Kansas City, but of course everybody's wearing blue. But you can hear the Dodger crowd a little bit off in the distance. And Kemp is behind 0-2, beaten by a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
You're going to get fastballs and sliders from Holland. Pretty much a even mix. This year around 55% fastballs, 45% sliders. Very rarely throws his split finger.
On 0-2. And hear that 97-mile-an-hour fastball just explode into the glove of Salvador Perez. Kemp tonight is 1 for 3. His hitting streak is at 11. Count is 1-2. Backhanded play by Moustakas. A long throw. Got him. What a play by Hosmer. That's the third terrific defensive play by Hosmer at first base tonight.
Well, you get a leadoff home run by Adrian Gonzalez. You want to keep the rally going. You get a ball down the line. You're thinking, all right, here we're going to keep it going. And it takes a great play over here by Moustakas and Hosmer. Just a tremendous pick over there by Hosmer at first place.
I look down at my scorecard, and I have 5 stars on my scorecard on their side. Second inning, off of Ethier. Yasiel Puig in center field in the 4th. Line drive that Puig hit to right later. 3 unassisted against Adrian Gonzalez in the 7th, and that one in the 9th. They're playing a shorter game when they're going to play that good a defense.
Defense and pitching has been their calling card this year, and talked about it earlier. When they've got a lead after 7, the Royals are 32-1. Starters have been good, the bullpen has been good, and all year the defense has been terrific. 0-2 to Ethier, who's 0 for 3 tonight.
No more quickly, because we're not going to see Holland very long, but what's the difference between visually what you see as a hitter with 97, 98, and when do you all of a sudden start seeing the ball again? Down at 92? What is it?
Well, the one thing is you know you have to get started, and you got to look fastball all the time and react on the breaking ball.
When does it go from blur to I see the ball again?
No, you can
really
still
clearly.
You know, at 90 it depends. At 98 you can still see it. Sometimes it is just a matter of a guy's wind up or deception. There are guys that I faced that were 91 and it felt like 98, 97 just because I couldn't pick it up, or he had that late life kind of a heavy fastball we like to call. And then you have that, and this is what makes him so tough, is because now there is that pitch that started off in the strike zone. You have to think he's going to come at me at 97, 98 fastball. That's what you're thinking as a hitter, because if you're not, there's no way you're going to catch up to it when he does throw it. So it's starting there. Okay, I have to go. I'm already deciding when the ball is right out of his hand. I'm thinking, okay, it's starting off as a strike, so I have to swing. And then all of a sudden it drops out of the strike zone and you swing over it.
Let's not underestimate the importance of the play by Moustakas. Now, if Kemp gets aboard, now suddenly you're looking at perhaps some momentum on the Dodgers side. As Ellis swings and misses. And Hosmer at the other end makes a great short hop catch. That changes the dynamic of the inning, and you see the crowd all standing and cheering now. Ellis is 1 for 3 tonight. Dodgers are down to their final out. 96, and it's 0-2. Van Slyke on deck, just in case. But his services will not be needed tonight. Ellis strikes out. That ends the game. And the Royals beat the Dodgers 5-3. For Kansas City, 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Dodgers 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. Jeremy Guthrie improves his record to 5-6. Zach Greinke takes the loss. His record drops to 9-4, and Matt Hullen records a save. Game that took 2 hours and 46 minutes to play in front of 21,615, and you're looking at the Lexus player of the game. Jeremy Guthrie, 95 pitches and 7 2/3, 2 runs and 7 hits. He struck out 5, did not walk anybody, and the Dodgers really did not test him until the very end. And so we'll do it again tomorrow from Kansas City when Clayton Kershaw faces Danny Duffy. So that's going to do it from here. For Alana Rizzo, Coral Hershiser, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and an entire Sportsnet LA crew, Charlie Steiner saying good night and goodbye from Kauffman Stadium. Now it's time to send it back to Access Sportsnet Dodgers.